Okay. Ooh, well, I can hear that too.
Is that, do
You
you have
want
a
me to
computer
call
screen? Do
in?
you have a computer? Yeah, you know what, that might be better because I'm getting echo from your speakers, so I think there's some delay there.
Okay. I'll call in, all right?
Okay, buddy, I'll be here.
Okay.
Okay?
Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, it's dialed in now. I love it.
Nice. All right. Well, good.
So, hey, so tell me what you thought of the call from last week.
Hey, I thought it was great, and like I told you,
Okay.
I've been working on it. I spent the weekend kind of, I spent most every day kind of working on the scripts and doing it. I kind of rehearsed it a little bit on Saturday and was trying
Sure.
to look at it. I mean, to tell you the truth, and like I said, this is probably where I need to change, but part of it, I, 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 I don't see myself saying some of this stuff, and so I don't know, but
How come?
I'm telling myself I need to change it. I need to change myself
How come?
because,
How come you don't see
well,
yourself saying it?
because part of it just doesn't sound like me. Okay, so
Okay.
the
That's
let me
fair.
let me let me mention one part. Okay,
Yep.
this part where it says, um, there's I don't, and when I say this, Doug, I mean I'm just saying I realize I'm the one with that needs the help here, but this part
Right.
what where it says, um, we ask them about, would you rather work with a lead or a referral? And then so we go into
Uh-huh.
that, and that's great. And you go, how do you define a successful transaction? And then, and then the whole thing is like, but what is interesting, we agreed a while ago that you'd rather work with a referral, but your definition of a successful transaction didn't include getting a referral. I struggle with that, Tammy, because I'm very selective about the realtors I work with, and it isn't because we don't do a good job. I believe we do. The fact is, I've met many realtors who are not referable, and that part right there, I kind of feel like I want to go. Now that's not aimed at you, but I'm trying to get at it, okay? But that's just an example of me.
Right.
That would is
Right.
ever anything I would have said in the past, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't say
Right.
it in the future either,
No,
okay?
no,
So,
no. And here's the point of what I'm saying that for. Because
okay,
what we tend to do is we tend to put all the power into the realtor's corner. We
right,
tend to come
okay,
to them on our hands and knees and let them know that we literally will take any crumb or scrap that you can send us, regardless of the value that they bring to the business. Because let's be honest, Les, you had business
yeah,
transactions with realtors that were horrible at their job. Is that
yeah,
fair?
absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
What is
And I
that? What
appreciate you
does that
saying
do
that.
to
So,
Right. And what does that do to you in the team? Like when you deal with a loan with a realtor that's poor at their job, how does that impact your business? Truly, like
yeah.
how does it impact it?
Well, it's talked about. They're going, who's this
Uh
realtor?
huh.
I mean, the team goes, my goodness, can they not do anything? And things like that. Yeah. So that
I've
happens.
always felt like, yep, I've always felt like at the closing, we, in a lot of ways, if we're not strong in our conversation style with our clients or the realtor's clients, if we're not really strong, we get lumped into being part of the circus that the realtor is attached to. Like
I see.
because the realtor doesn't do a really good job and they typically referred us, we in some way, shape, or form are judged on that, like I said, unless we
I
are
see.
really strong at conveying
Hmm.
our value and we do an amazing job. But what that ends up doing is it puts you in a very, very tough position to where the
Hmm.
process doesn't become referable. You possibly are the only one that is referable. And the
Okay.
hard part is that when you're sitting down with a realtor for the first time, you need to let them know that you're very clear on what your expectations of the realtor and the relationship that you guys have is.
Hey, Doug, I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's what I need to know, and then I'm going to do it the way you did it. Because let me tell you something. All weekend I was going, hey, but you need to try something different. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
that's what I wanted. You asked me what I thought, and that's the part I was concerned about. But to tell you the truth, a lot of this, I keep going back to having the conversation with people I already know, and that's the main reason why we're having this
Right.
discussion
Right.
too. And so
Right.
with the new people, I think I really could do that. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, if there's
How do you say
someone
it
we
to
just
people that
closed the
already know
deal
you?
for. Yes, and
Yep.
then some
Well,
others that I would like to talk to say, hey, I this is what I'm doing. So that's why
mhm.
and I appreciate your help. So, and like I
No,
said, you've
no.
just convinced me on that part because I can do it, but I was going,
It's just not you. It's not
yeah,
you because you have this genuine, loyal, giving mentality, and you have a heart of gold. Les, people would be honored to do business with you. The problem is that when you show up to an appointment where 9 out of 10 realtors don't possess any skills that will actually help you grow your business or
yeah,
refer you. I mean, really, it
yeah,
is 9 out of 10. Don't stand a chance.
right,
You being a
okay,
part of 9 out of 10 realtor relationships that aren't really referable does not help you grow your business. It just makes you spin your wheels more.
yeah, okay. Hey,
Is
all
that
right.
fair?
Hey, that is fair. That's why I wanted to add that. Like I say, I am clear. So because I did rehearse it that way. So
Okay, good,
that's what I'm going to do.
good,
All right.
good. So you got to let me know how that goes. So that's with the new
Okay.
agent. So let's talk about the people that you already know. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you to take a step back for a second, and I want you to answer me this question. When do you think you have a captive audience when it comes to a realtor that you've never talked to before? Les, I lost you.
I was sitting here thinking. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So,
buddy. That's okay. You know what? I'm
uh,
getting a lot of static on the line. Is that,
oh really? Rats.
yep, yep. Hold on a second. Let me
Okay.
try something here, buddy. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to try something.
Okay.
Sometimes it's my connection. Hold on. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It's really spotty. Um, let me, since I'm hosting the call, you want to try calling back one more time?
Yes. I'm gonna. Yes, I'll call back one more time, or I'll call back
Okay.
again.
Thanks,
Okay.
buddy.
Let me do that.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Thanks. All right. Hey, buddy.
Hey, is it any better?
All right, that sounds a lot better. Thank you.
All right, good, good.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to step back for a second and answer me this question. When do you think you have this is purely for listing agents and realtors that you've never done business with before, but you are in a transaction with them, correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Or are these realtors that you already have a relationship with?
The first question I had was like I've been having some luck, you know, after we close someone where people are interested in how well we closed it, and so those were the first people, the listing agents that I don't know, but we did just close their listing, you know.
Good. Okay, so my advice is, when do you think you have a captive audience? Do you have it during the process or after the process?
I think from the transactions that I've had that I start getting it during the process because of the communications that we have. Yes.
Right. So how do you set the stage when you first call a listing agent for the first time?
For the first time, I will call them and say, hey, I'm going to be working I'm working with the borrowers on your listing, and I want you to know we are going to be updating you before you ask, and so we're going to be communicating information to you before you ask, and then we're also, if you have any questions, we're here to answer any questions that you have. And then that's pretty much it. So what I
So it kind of goes in line with what we talked about the other day about taking the me and the we out of and the I out of the conversation.
Yes.
And calling a listing agent, it's all about what you're going to give them. Okay, not what you are, but what the end result's going to be for them. And the call would sometimes go a lot like this. Hey, Les, my name is Doug Catteray. You don't know me, but I am going to be handling the financing for your listing on such and such. I'm reaching out to you because I own the practice. This is my business, and I wanted to introduce you to a concept that we have when we do business with any agent we've never done business with before, and that is this belief that your number one goal, or our number one goal for you, is to make you look really good in front of your client. So imagine if you were able to get weekly updates that were proactive, that were accurate, so that when you picked up the phone, you called your listing and gave them accurate details so that they never felt like you weren't in control. If that's the kind of relationship that you're interested in being a part of, this is what you're going to experience from my team. Our goal is, by the time we get to closing, we will have scheduled an appointment for us to meet, because we are so sure that our process is going to make your relationship with your lister amplified or stronger. And all we're going to do right now is make sure that you understand that that's our goal. That's it. So here's the secret behind that. Every time you call to give that listing agent an update, you now have a reason and a purpose. The reason is to give them the information. The purpose is to get that listing agent to say thank you to you. Every time that listing agent says thank you to you, Elise, Britton, or whomever is handling those calls, the response is, hey, Les, thanks for noticing. We would love to sit down and meet with you and show you how we could do this for every one of your clients.
Okay.
That's it.
I like it. Okay.
Because what you're doing is you're putting your actions before the request. You're setting the stage. You're making the listing agent aware that that's what your goal is going to be. And your team now has the power to premeditate that conversation by, every time they call the listing agent, getting that thank you and saying, hey, Les, thanks for noticing. I know Les and I would love to get in front of you to share with you how we do this, so that we could help amplify your relationships with every client that you work with, because we focus on that at every turn.
That is great, Doug. That's exactly what I was needing. So
when you meet with them face to face, then you come into what you and I just talked about from the very beginning. Mr. Realtor, we are very particular about the realtors that we work with. I understand that you've been in the business a while. I understand that you've been in the business, long enough, you know what's going on. We believe that most realtors don't have a business that is referable. And that's why most realtors either have to buy leads or they don't have enough business. Mr. Realtor, Les, do you have enough business right now? If not, then I'm willing to bet you that you could stand to learn how to become more referable. And it so happens that the first step is to partner with a mortgage practice that is 100% referable and that orchestrates referable moments at every step of the way, much the same way that you have experienced, and that's why we're meeting.
Good. That's great. Keep talking, brother. I mean, really. I mean, that's really good. You are recording, right? So.
I am recording this, yes.
All right, good.
So what you're doing is the first step is you need to set the stage appropriately. Every time you get a new listing, your mission should be to set the stage with that listing agent to let them know that that's going to be the goal that your team has. Now your team has an agenda. Now your team knows that every time they pick up the phone, they're not just calling the listing agent. They're calling somebody to get a thank you or a wow to promote the idea that you guys want to meet before the end of the transaction. That's when you're going to have the greatest, that's when you're going to have their greatest attention is during the process.
Yeah.
They're not going to say no to you. Even if they do say no, then you're just like, you obviously don't care. You don't need my help, which is fine. But believe me, enough realtors in your marketplace kill to have a relationship with a business professional and a mortgage practice like yours. And the cool thing is you're not selling something you can't deliver. You're selling a concept of, listen, you probably want more referrals. You probably would love to have more business. And you'd love to do it without having to pay for it, and you'd love to do it without having it be leads. Well, if that's the concept, here's what I believe we could work on together.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a matter of what you talked about in the call last week. It's just about building that rapport of, I'm not going to just sit back and let Mr. Joe Realtor tell me that they have a better business acumen than I do. I'm looking across the table at somebody who more often than not makes less money than me. I also know that I have a better, more trackable, more consistent practice in real estate than they ever will. So in my eyes, they're the ones that should want to partner with me. If they have any inkling that they want to build a business that's better, more consistent, more stable, then I'm the best partner to have. But I realized in my career, most agents don't think like that. Most agents don't care. Most agents don't really, they operate in the JOB mentality. They have a job. They wake up, they go to their job, they come home, and they don't care about real estate until they quote unquote need the money. The truth is that what your value is, Les, is that you know more about the way that this business works than they ever will, and all you're looking for is somebody that says, yeah, having a partnership with a lender that makes me look good in front of my clients is all that matters. If you can amplify my relationship with my client, then why wouldn't I partner with you? That means you're not going to lie, you're not going to mislead, you're going to be competitive, and you're going to be a professional. What better option is there?
Yeah, there's not. I mean, that is great.
You and I both know this. The problem is we just tuck our tail between our legs every time we get in front of a realtor and believe that, oh my God, this could be the one. And it's like, here's the Joe using, forgive me because this is in my brain thing. It's like a supermodel that's GED education. It's all fun on the surface and it's really intimidating, but after you spend an hour with them, you realize you're smarter than they are. But they're surface. They just have the surface. They have the presentation and this aura about them. And you look at them and go, Mr. Realtor, I appreciate it, but I'm very selective about realtors that I choose. And you got to realize words that you use are very specific. I'm choosing to be in a partner with select realtors because I believe my clients deserve the highest and best experience possible. And this is the analogy that you could also use with that. Mr. Realtor's favorite restaurant to go to if you and your significant other were going to go out on a great anniversary or a great date night. Les, what would be your best restaurant that you would take your wife out
to? Three Forks.
Okay. Is it a chain restaurant?
No. Well, no, it's just a big fancy steak place here.
Very big fancy steak place. If you walked in to this place, and the plates are probably expensive, right? The meals are probably expensive?
Yes,
okay.
Very.
If you walked in, a waiter or waitress was wearing dirty tennis shoes, had holes in their jeans, had no dress code, hadn't shaved, bad breath, foul mouth, what would be your impression of that restaurant?
That is not as fancy as they say it is. Yeah.
It wouldn't justify you paying the money that you're paying, would it?
Right.
Part of what you're paying for is the experience. Mr. Realtor, we're in the same thing. We have an amazing steakhouse. You operate the kitchen, I operate the front. If you don't do a really good product, then I'm going to be judged equally and vice versa. I believe that the only way you could charge the prices and get the business to come back is by doing it in a very, very orchestrated manner. Come on, Les. Are you kidding me? You mean a realtor's not going to sit back and go, oh, my God, nobody's ever said this to me?
That's what I see him doing. So,
but does that gel with what you think and believe?
Yes, what you just said. Yes. So I just haven't been good.
Gel.
Yes.
You just haven't been good at being able to articulate it.
That's right. Okay. Very much so.
There's only one thing that makes you and I different. There's only one quality about you and I. I mean, I'm sure people could come up with 100 things of why you're better than me, but there's only one thing that makes you and I different.
Yeah.
It's the words that come out of our mouth, brother.
Yeah.
It's just the words. Yeah. So when you learn how to speak with what's in your heart and you can translate it to your brain and it comes out of your mouth in a way that orchestrates vision, clarity, passion, enthusiasm, this is the stuff that lacks when we call on realtors. That's why realtors are so put off by us most, if not most, all the time. And the reason why people market them is because it's all about consistency and repetitiveness and just constantly knocking on the door till they just tell you either to go away or shut up. The truth is, you get into a realtor face-to-face with who you are and how you speak, and you take the words that I'm giving you and you make them your own, and you say it in the way that provides you with being the prize, not arrogantly the prize, but be honest with yourself. You know as well as I do, any agent you sit across from makes less money than you, doesn't have a real estate practice like you have, doesn't have a team, doesn't have a business model, doesn't have anything. So when you sit across the table from them, you've got to make them want to be a part of your business by telling them what the benefits are. Not by saying, I do this or we do this. It's, do you ever think that you, Mr. Realtor, could have a business that's referable? Wouldn't you love to be in a partnership with a mortgage practice that understands how to orchestrate those moments? What would it be like working and owning a restaurant where the kitchen and the front staff work side by side seamlessly to provide an experience and a product that is unbelievable? That's what I'm trying to build here, and I'm not interested in bringing every Joe Schmo off the street because I don't think my business model is right for every realtor.
Yeah.
You're going to mean to tell me that a realtor is not going to sit up and go, wow, really? Yeah. You have something that nobody else has? Well, and then your response is, but the only real way to get you to understand this is to watch what happens as we go through this process. Watch what happens as we go through this process, and I'm going to work, and my team is going to work really hard at orchestrating referable moments on our side, getting an opportunity to get a referral from the client, and then passing it back to you. Now you have to take ownership over something, Les, and that is you've got to be able to set the stage. You've got to speak to your clients with the passion that says that my goal in this is to get you to refer me and your realtor before this transaction's over with. And every time your client gets a call or an update and they say, hey, Bretton, or hey, Elise, or hey, Les, thanks for the update, you're like, hey, Mr. Tuttle, thanks for noticing. We do care at a high level about your satisfaction. And you know that, and I know that Les told you in the beginning, we want you to feel comfortable and be compelled to want to refer us during the process. We would love to get a referral by somebody you care about. That goes hand in hand with the expectation that you set with the realtor, because the realtor doesn't do it. The realtor doesn't set that expectation.
Right. I appreciate it. That is all great.
Does this kind of coincide with what you feel and with what you think, and then how you would say it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I say, what you said, the way the words come out of the mouth it is different. I mean, and that's what I was working over the weekend in saying it and doing it, and there was this little thing in me, and I'm going, okay, but this is what we're wanting to change. So anyway, I appreciate it very much.
I want you to speak with conviction, and I want you to speak from a place of I'm more evolved as a business owner goes than the realtor that you're sitting in front of will ever be. You can't be disappointed that they don't get it. You can't be disappointed that they don't connect with you. You have to realize that there's where the numbers game is. But when you learn how to speak the things that I'm saying, you don't have to hesitate in picking up the phone and calling a realtor, because it's like if you had $1,000 in your pocket every day and you had to spend $100 of it every time you called somebody, and all you had to do was talk to them for a half hour and then give them $100, they'd want to talk to you. You have that same message now. You can teach these realtors that if by working with you, you can help them increase their business. It's not that difficult, but they have to be on the same page. And then when you get them in your corner, then you start talking about ways that they can improve their language skills to their clients. That's when the loyalty comes. That's when the value comes. That's when the whole partnership mentality evolves.
Absolutely. Okay, what about the people I do know that have referred me that I have not done this well with?
Then you pick up the phone and go, I have something that I just learned that I have to share with you. When can we sit down for 15 minutes over a cup of coffee?
Okay.
And it goes back to, I appreciate everything that you've done to support me in my business over the last several years or several months or however many transactions. What I've now just been told is how to articulate what I've always felt in my heart. And maybe you feel the same. It's called the triangle of trust. It's this belief that because you and I have this great relationship, every time that you introduce me to a client, I care more about getting that client to come back to you and say thank you than I am about doing the mortgage. But you know the crazy thing that happens when you do that is that because I do what's right by the client, and I can tell them that when I'm meeting with them, they fall in love with my process. They engage in it, and then I become a much better partner to you because I've amplified your relationship with your client. And my goal now that I'm able to speak like this, is to be able to have this conversation with every client, have every client come back to you and say thank you, and then my team and I, our number one priority is to get a referral from them before closing. And every referral that we get, you know that it'll come back to you. What other lending relationship do you know that has the ability not only to say it, but do it?
Right. That is great. That is great. You're awesome, man. I mean, I appreciate it. That just makes all the sense in the world. Like I say, I want you to know, I did what I told you. I worked on it, and I'm memorizing. I'm script, and so because I know it's something I need to change. And so I appreciate it very much. So
I want you to have, you've always had the tools, Les. You've always had the best tools, the best product, the best everything. I'm now just teaching you how to use your tools more effectively.
yeah, yes, you are.
It's not changing who you are. It's not change. It's not like Thor's hammer. You know, I liken Thor's hammer to a big old mallet that you're going to use to pound a nail in. I don't want you to use a big mallet. I'm going to teach you how to swing a smaller hammer. It's more efficient, and the results I feel like are going to be better. And what you'll find, I believe, is that you'll find that the realtors will start to frog you.
Yeah, that will be fun. And you know what?
Won't it?
When that happens, I'm gonna let you know, and we're gonna celebrate about that. All right?
No more videos.
No more videos. No, we're not betting on it. So
no,
we're gonna we'll do something. So
all right. Well, here's the request that I have for you then. I want you between now and the end of the month to schedule 7 realtor appointments with agents you've never met, or listing agents. I don't care who they are. 7 agents that you've never met. I'm not expecting anything out of it, but I want you to go and role play this conversation with 7 realtors before the end of the month.
Okay. All right.
And here's what you're going to see. The realtors are going to be put off. They're going to be shocked. They're going to be disarmed because they're not going to have expected it. They will not understand where you're coming from. And then when you have them on their heels and they're like, what? That's when you say, that's when you say it. That's when you're like, I'm very particular because of the value that I bring. Too often I hear realtor-lender relationships fail because of communication and they don't do it. I get paid to do 3 things really well. I consult, I negotiate, I manage people's fears and expectations, and by doing this and mastering this process, I create referable moments. And because I can do that, it allows me to create relationships that refer me during and after the process. That's how I've been in I mean, look at these hairs or the lack thereof. It's because I've been in this business so long that it's taken a toll on me, but now I finally understand what it is that I'm doing. With the help of some great people in my life, I want to pass that knowledge on to somebody else who sees the value in it. And that's, no disrespect. Your business isn't going to close up tomorrow, neither is mine if we don't work together. But working together gives us the best chance at having the best possible experience for our clients. And that's what I'm looking for. So that's why I'm sitting here with you today, to see if we would be a good fit. So help me understand. What makes you referable? How would you define a successful transaction? I mean, these things are just, and then you just let it happen. Let the uncomfortableness of the conversation settle in on their ears, because it's the shift of power. It's the shift of I have all the leverage here, Mr. Loan Officer. You're like, actually, you don't, and you've got to let that sink in. And when that sinks in, you just wait for that moment, and you'll see their mind go, what? And that's when they finally get it. That's when they're like, oh my God, finally somebody who talks my language. They don't know what to say yet either, Les, but they know what it feels like.
Right.
Just like you did. You had to go back and listen to the video. But you know how it feels, but to say it in your own way takes practice. That's your greatest asset. These realtors don't know how to say it. They've never said it. And the fact that you can say it to them, it's going to make them go, wow, this is somebody that I think I could work with because it fits for what I believe. And most people are good people. They just don't know how to talk. They don't know how to articulate their value, and they've never spent any time learning their craft.
Yeah. That was exactly what I was needing to know, man. I appreciate it. I mean, I really.
Brother, it's my pleasure.
I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, buddy. Oh, man,
you know, what I was going after it and working on it, I was going, this part right here, you know. I mean, I had some thoughts, but I wanted to get what yours were on how to talk to them, and that's exactly what I needed to know. And so
you can have you can have hundreds of great personal conversations with realtors, Les, all day long. But you're not going to give them anything that makes them see you as being anything other than a nice person.
Right.
This isn't the place or the time to be nice. This is the time and place to say, I have something. I'm going to give you just a taste of what I do. I'm not going to throw it all at you, but I'm going to get you excited. And then I'm going to go, I would love to set up another time. And you let them stew on it. And then the ones that fall off, fall off. But that's why you're constantly doing your realtor meetings. You should continually do it, but you should find the ones that get it and make connections with you because they're frogging you. Those are the ones that you want to. Those are the ones that you want to align yourself with.
Right. Right. All right. That's what I'm going to do. You're going to be happy about this. So anyway, but I'm telling you,
I want you
I'm
to be happy
about
this
it.
first.
Well, hey,
I want you to. All right, well, I want to see the results, brother. I want to see you get to the place where you're like, I don't have any fear picking up the phone and talking to these realtors because, in all fairness, these realtors are a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really have any hesitation to pick up the phone and go, I would love to find out if you're the one. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but I'd be willing to try it. And the fact that I'm calling you is just because I'm more proactive than you.
Yeah. See, this part right here, I don't know how else to say this. I mean, because, I mean, when I first started, I mean, I've always thought, Doug, to tell you the truth, I've always thought I'm a very good salesperson. I mean, I just never thought that. I just always thought, I mean, as long as I've done this, I think it is because people think I am a nice guy, okay? I mean, I think that. But that's also basically the problem. I mean, I want everyone to think I'm a nice guy, but and it's gotten me leads, and it you know, I've always done it. But if I could do this, I mean, at my age, I should be able to say this to others and teach and do that.
You can be a nice guy. I'm not telling you. This is not you changing about being a nice guy. This is about you saying, not only am I a nice guy, I'm skilled at my craft.
Skilled. Yes.
They'll find
That's
out
what
you're
I'm
a
trying
nice
to get
guy.
at. Yeah.
Right. They'll find out you're a nice guy if they're interested in you when they start frogging you. Until then, don't give them don't give away the milk for free.
Right.
Here's what I am. Here's what my business is. I would love to learn about you. I would love to find out if your business, not you personally, but do you run a business? Are you referable? Do you know what makes you referable? Do you define a successful transaction as a referral or just a paycheck? Or forget about units and numbers. I mean, find the people that connect, because then when you find that connection, guess what happens on your follow-up calls?
Yeah.
Then they can find out you're a nice guy. Then they can find out what your really value is. And then your response to them is, if you really want to know how I can be of service to you, give me a chance to work with one of your clients so I can amplify that relationship and make you look like a rock star.
Okay. I'm telling you, Doug, I mean, I appreciate it because this is, like I told you last week, I mean, this is what I've been looking for. So, and so I appreciate it very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'll record the call and send you the link as soon as I'm done converting. It might not be till tomorrow.